What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals, a lot of things off the bat real fast. I apologize for coughing. I can't shake the cough. If you hear noise to the side, bummer. People be doing stuff next to me. Or it could be the cat. Uh, um,
Damn cat getting COVID.
Next thing on the docket, the
It's not COVID.
Kyle's beanie has the silliest little octopus I've ever seen.
What? It's just a cute
Big
little
fan.
guy.
Big fan. Cute little stud. Big
Yeah.
fan. Thank you, Million Patrons, Kimberly, Karen. We're here for the podcast. No movie reviews apparently over this long break Kyle and I got because Kyle apparently gets 5 days off. You know what he doesn't do? Go see a flick. I saw two. We're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It did not happen like I hoped for this weekend. That's for sure.
I would abandon anyone who complains. Anyone who's like, you got to wait for me, abandon them. You don't need friends in the theater.
Yeah, I got convinced by one of our buddies. Got mad at me for not seeing Hunger Games with him and haven't heard the end of it since. So I have to play nice now.
That's funny.
Grown man can't see movies alone anymore.
What does this country come to? Are you kidding me?
Some people.
All right. Well, we're here to talk a lot of different things. We will get a review of what did I see? Napoleon. As soon as Kyle sees it. Real quick, I know it's not on the docket. I saw Thanksgiving. I'll just do a little quick snack bite review now. I saw Thanksgiving. Big fan because I've become a huge fan of horror in the last 5 years. Huge fan. Halloween becomes one of my favorite times of the year because I call it spooky boy season, and that's me and the cat, and we sit at home, just the two of us, and we watch some spooky stuff together. And I'm starting to run out of things, and I'm getting into the deep cut stuff, and I love it.
Right.
The deep cut is where it gets fun. Thanksgiving was fun. I like Eli Roth. It definitely felt a little bit 90s slasher at times. It was very campy at times. It was very dumb horror at times. And I enjoyed all of that. I had a good time in the theater. It was me and one other guy. And as soon as the movie ended.
For Thanksgiving? No way.
At like 11 a.m. That was the wild thing. When I bought the ticket, I was like, yeah, it makes sense for a movie that's been out for a week. It was on a Tuesday. And the movie ended, and I got up, and he goes, "Did you like it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I thought it was fun." And he goes, "Me too, man. It was a good time." And we just talked for a minute, and then he left.
Cool.
Apologize for the coughing. But anyway, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's dumb horror, not for everybody. But if you wanted, I enjoyed it. I went by myself, had a good time, just laughing at the dumb parts. Some of the scares I thought really delivered. There were some good tension. Overall, good, solid little flick.
Okay.
There will be no leftovers, I hear. I got a lot in the fridge, so he didn't get me. I did call the killer, though, and that's usually not a good sign because I'm not one to try and guess what's going on in the movie, who's the killer, the whodunits. I don't want to guess. Yeah. I want the movie to let me learn it. I don't want to be that guy who walks out and he's like, well, I figured it out 35 seconds into the flick. That guy's coming a mile away. I did figure this one out, but that's okay because this is not a movie I felt desperate, that I needed to really figure out.
It's not pegging itself to be a mystery.
I will slight spoilers just because it's fun. The opening, like the thing that starts everything and the murders and everything is a big Black Friday old school. We're fighting to the death for a flat screen TV. In this situation, those small spoilers, it was like a fancy waffle toaster maker thing. And that scene was so bonkers crazy to me. I loved it. Everybody fighting. People are dying in this store brutally. It's wild. Anyway, let's get into it.
That's a good setup, though.
Kyle, it was low-key kind of fire, and it was goofy. It was
people
fun.
have died at Black Friday sales, and there could be someone could murder someone, and no one would know who it was.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. What's on the docket for the day here? Oh, wait, hang on. Don't forget. Get us to 2,000. Get one of these hoodies. Help us get to 2,000 subs. Comment by commenting, liking. We're gonna give a hoodie away. Anyway, here we go. My goodness.
I'll start off with more Writers Guild drama that we've unfortunately had to deal with for the past couple of months. They are threatening to sue Amazon currently because Amazon has now reconvened writers' rooms of several of their shows that had stopped production before their strikes happened. So that's about as much of a report as we're going to get out of this so far. I'm hoping that Amazon is just like gets its
Wait,
act together.
let me. I want to make sure I'm understanding clearly. So some
Yeah,
writers are suing Amazon because they were under
the guild may
contract.
sue them. The
The
guild may
guild
sue
may
them.
sue because some writers were under contract before the strike to work on a project, and since the strike has ended, they have not been called back to begin working and fulfilling their contract.
Correct. Yep.
And it must be in. Normally, I think you would say, well, you look at actors who's it's like, Chris Evans might sign a 9-picture Marvel deal, but they don't have to use him in the contract. They don't have to fulfill it. But there must be, if the guild is coming in, something in the contract that says that they need to be back and that you can't just void this contract, is what I would assume.
That may be the case. Again, that we don't know much of the details when it comes to these contracts, if any, obviously, because it's not specifying within the reports that I've seen. But I could say that you're on track when it comes to how a writer's room contract works. So yeah, I could see this as Amazon just stalling for time because after losing millions of dollars due to this strike, they may not want to, or they tell themselves they don't want to jump the gun and go back into paying money towards these people until they get like the right amount of funds or whatever, which is stupid because they're Amazon.
Yeah.
Like they probably sell boats to other rich people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just another frustrating aspect of the aftermath of these strikes, that's for sure. So again, don't know much more about this. Maybe they actually do sue, or maybe Amazon's just like, all right, fine, we'll take the hit and pay the writers rather than being sued over this. So but again, just frustrating how these companies work. So yeah.
All right, what's next?
You want to talk about Karate Kid?
Sure. I love the Karate Kid. Should have put that hoodie on.
Well, then you're in luck because Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, who, we know them to have starred in separate Karate Kid movies, made an announcement on YouTube. I saw a video
something like that.
that must have appeared on YouTube, where they both announced that the new Karate Kid is happening, and not only is Jackie Chan coming back, but Ralph Macchio is, and they're also announcing a worldwide search for the next Karate Kid main lead, essentially. So it seems like both of them are going to be part of like the training of the new Karate Kid, I imagine, which, funny enough, as much as I say that I liked the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, I guess I forgot that Jackie Chan was his own character and it wasn't like a remake. I always thought he was.
No, it was a remake. So
yeah, but I just in my head
not Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, but I guess I always, for some reason, I forgot that. So watching this video and like Jackie Chan's character, his name is like Mr. Han, it says in the video somewhere. I'm like, oh, I thought it was Miyagi for some reason. So
it's a dumb movie. It's not very good.
It's just trying its best out.
He was Mr. Han.
Yes, but clearly that's how long I have not seen this movie, even though I champion it as much as I do. But what do you think? As like,
go watch it. You're such a dork.
Go
watch it. It's
probably
awful.
gonna be so bad.
No, go freaking stop with this. I champion this movie. No, you just troll. You're just a little troll.
What are you talking about? No,
go watch all the Karate Kids back to back to back. All 3 of them. All 4 of them. Throw in Hillary in there, and I guarantee you're gonna put it at the bottom. And if you don't, it's only because you hate me and you are spiting me.
It's not out of spite. No way.
Don't forget, there are rumors. Excuse me. There are rumors that the creators of Cobra Kai have seen the scripts. That's not coming from anything I've seen as legit, but there are rumors that they've seen the scripts and put in many notes. If I'm Ralph Macchio, who has said multiple times that he had seen so many scripts over and over and over the years for Karate Kid something, and he always turned them down. And it wasn't until Cobra Kai and he met with the creators of Cobra Kai that he was like, okay, I'm back into this world. I think we actually have something really strong here. And he liked the direction they were headed and he liked what they were doing. The show is fantastic. I think if if with Ralph being involved, I think that the rumors are probably more likely true than they are false. That doesn't mean they're not false, but I would, instead of put the split at 50-50, I'd put it maybe 60-40, that they're more likely true than false. But that's still a big percentage. I won't be shocked because I haven't seen anything confirmed. If you're going to go out and you're going to find a new Karate Kid and you are going to base it more on the original movie and you want it to follow that, you want it to maybe be a little bit more adult seems like the wrong word, but maybe bring it back to kind of the tone of the first one, because the show definitely veers a bit from that tone and can get campy at times in a good way. Then I just hope that they keep Cobra Kai in the show in mind and they don't just, run off with these, let's ignore the show, especially if Ralph is involved. I don't think they would do that. And since he has talked for years and years and years that he was like, it has to be the right script, I think that they have brought an idea that is going to be really good. I actually hope it just ties into Cobra Kai. And maybe we get Jackie Chan showing up at the end of this final season we're going to get. And he's like, I worked, maybe he says, I knew Mr. Miyagi and I would like to talk to you or whatever about helping me train this kid or something. And he says, sure. That I just hope happens. Does everything need to be connected? No. But when you have such a good show, you don't want to sit here and reboot. You can do a soft style reboot to get these in theaters and to keep making Karate Kid stuff without completely, destroying the fan base that has brought this back. Cobra Kai is the reason anyone's interested in a Karate Kid movie. So anyway, thoughts?
Excuse me. Yeah, I really don't know what to make of Cobra Kai's involvement will be with this movie. And I was always kind of skeptical on if the show would be included with the movie, but with these rumors about the creators being involved in the script somehow, again, just rumors, but I do hope that they're true because I think they've been good at what they've done when it comes to
They've been excellent.
The love for these movies that they clearly have, and I hope that they did give some input. And so maybe that will be the catalyst for leading in some of the cast of Cobra Kai to be joining as well. I would like it to be in some sort of sizable capacity and not just like Ralph Macchio training them in one scene and you see them in the background and then he's like, oh, I got to go to China or whatever. I got to go see Jackie Chan be back at the end of the movie or whatever. Then that would kind of just be a little deflating, I would think. So, maybe this could be an indicator that the show does have some sort of involvement of some kind.
It's
what
funny.
Do you think? Yeah, you go.
Well, I was just going to say it's funny because I'm looking at who owns the rights to Karate Kid, and it's Columbia Pictures. And when I hear Columbia Pictures, I think they'll do a good job. Like if it said Warner Brothers or Disney or Amazon, I'd be like, I don't know if they will work with Cobra Kai and their crew, but Columbia Pictures, I think might. So they make me more optimistic because they're not as kind of cuckoo for coconuts. But what were you going to ask?
Oh, does it swing the needle for Jackie Chan's return with Ralph Macchio also being a part of the movie? Does it make you a little bit more excited to see them like, I don't know, in the same scene together? Or does it still not do much for you, but you're just more excited for Macchio?
To be honest, this makes me think that since Jackie Chan is there, that the creators of Cobra Kai might be slightly more involved than we think. Because they're very good at saying, let's bring in someone. Let's bring in somebody from back in the day and let's bring him back. I mean, hasn't everybody basically come back? Didn't even Hilary Swank come back in Cobra Kai?
I can't remember that.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe she's the only one we're still waiting for.
I don't think she did.
Or maybe she just refuses. Hilary Swank, what are you doing? Get on Cobra Kai. No, I don't think she has. But everybody else pretty much has. When they bring back our boy from the second movie and he's like, I'm here to show you how to really get down. And he's like, we're going to kill him. And he's taking him out old school style. Oh, Karate Kid 2 is so freaking good. I love the Karate Kid 2. They bring everybody back. They brought back the villain from Karate Kid 3 and Cobra Kai and made him like a great villain. They took a meh movie and they said, let's make him into a really good villain. Oh, I love Cobra Kai so much. Jackie Chan being in this, I love Jackie Chan as an actor. I think he's great. And I think this makes me think that they are treating this very carefully. And they're saying, let's bring in Jackie Chan back. Ralph's on board. And let's kind of merge this universe together a little bit and make this. Let's give Jackie Chan another shot. Let's give everybody another shot here. We don't need Jaden. He doesn't need another shot. I don't even know if he would want one. But he doesn't.
He loved that franchise.
I'm sure he did. Anyway, yeah, Jackie. I always love Jackie, so I'm okay with them bringing him back. That doesn't bother me. This franchise does a pretty good job so far of taking care of business and knowing how to handle stuff. So, when do we get Cobra Kai season 6 though? That's the real question here. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, I don't know if the strikes halted much of it or if they're able to keep going pretty smoothly.
Cobra Kai season 6 will commence in early 2024, despite the accustomed regularity of the new Cobra Kai season. And wait for the 6th season. Might be the longest for subscribers. Looks like it's just coming this year.
Okay, that's fine.
2024. Please.
That has to be the last season, though, right?
It is. Yeah, they announced it.
It's
Remember,
going to be?
Season 5 ended with them like there's a huge tournament that's supposed to happen around the world, and they were going to fight other people. And this is a great way to bring in a movie. Jackie Chan is in this season, and he's training his own boy. And you know that they see somebody together, and they're like, we can make this guy a star. Okay? I still think the guy from Cobra Kai would make a great Haymitch. The kid who plays Johnny's son. I can't remember his name.
As a young Haymitch.
Yeah, he'd be so
He was
good.
Brilliant in Fuller House.
Was he in Fuller House? Why did you watch Fuller House?
Yeah, he had like one episode, I think. I am joking, though. I've seen him in like...
You didn't even watch Full House.
How dare you? Of course we watch Full House. At least don't lie. That and what was it? Designated... No.
Designated Survivor?
Yeah, there was some show on ABC that he was the son of the 24
Tanner
actor.
Buchan. He was in Game Shakers. Designated Survivor is the answer.
Was that? Okay.
He was in Girl Meets World, Fuller House. I still think he would have been a great Green Ranger if they had continued with the Power Ranger reboot. He got the moves, got the Tommy look from back in the day. Oh, R.I.P. to him. Anyway, Karate Kid's excellent. I'll crane kick my way to victory here. And it is not an illegal move. It's not an illegal face kick, okay? You're out here shouting, put him in a body bag, and you're going to complain when you lose. Maybe it's a little bendy of the rules here. Stop that. It's like people complaining about the brotherly shove, okay? Calm down. Anyway, what's next on the docket here? Go Birds.
Let's move on and talk about some Star Wars, because Dave Filoni is now the chief creative officer of Lucasfilm. Where he's going to be helping with more of the planning when it comes to Star Wars films and shows. I thought he was already doing that, so this means nothing to me. So what are we doing here?
He was not already doing that. Well, he was and he wasn't. I think...
What?
I think what was happening, what had been happening, is Dave Filoni finally gets brought in. He works with The Mandalorian. They go, what other stuff do you got? The Mandalorian's saving my bacon, is what Kathy probably said. It's saving my job here. What else do you got? And he said, well, we'd love to do this, this, and this. There were rumors for a while that that Jon Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy were butting heads like crazy. I don't know if we remember those rumors, but there were rumors that they were fighting like crazy because she kept butting in, and that's why Mandalorian season 2 or season 3 or something wasn't doing as much. It's why Boba Fett had to have Mando in it and all this stuff. And I think Kathy sat back and said, okay. And honestly, I think Bob Iger might have come in and said, we need to fix Star Wars. It's one of our biggest things. We need to get back into the theaters. And he said, look, Dave is clearly loved by the fans. People already think he's going to take your job. I want you to make him the chief head and you oversee and just keep doing what you're doing. And I think Kathy said that's a great idea because Kathy is a fantastic producer. She has always been a fantastic producer. Some of the best movies in history have her name on that poster for right reason. And maybe she sat back and goes, look, I'm not as good at this part of the job. I haven't been. I'm very good when I can sit back and help out in a more of just a producer style than also being a creative head and meddling. Let me step back. I'll give you my producer notes and let Dave take over and let him be the Kevin Feige of this world. And I think that's exactly what they've done. Kevin was not always the head of Marvel. He used to have producers he talked to, and some of the first phases of Marvel, he had them. So I think that this is a smart move for Kathy. It helps her get back into a better light. And Dave being in charge makes sense. Dave is going to take it in a direction that eventually, and I'm going to look right, he will eventually piss every Star Wars fan off. Because Star Wars fans can't be satisfied. Okay? That's going to happen. He's going to eventually do it. But I trust him a lot to make really good products, especially since Ahsoka was very good. And I thought Ahsoka was one of the better things they've put out in a while. He knows the universe better than anyone probably over there not named Sam Witwer when they bring him in to do some work. And still, get him as a Sith Lord on screen. What are we doing? Gosh, I love Sam Witwer.
Yeah, he's great.
Anyway, what are your thoughts outside of, I already thought this was happening, which is not a thought.
Well, it is, because it's true. I've been told many times that he's a part of this, that he's a part of this plan. So this means nothing to me.
I think the biggest difference here is he had a seat at the table and got to voice his opinion.
And now the seat moved up one.
He's now the head of the table. And there is a difference there. There is a difference, especially when you're in a room of creatives. He now sits at the head and goes, here's the roadmap. Before he got to say, should we do that? I don't know. Okay, Kathy or whoever, you do it. You're in charge. It's your baby here. These are my suggestions. We're not going to go with half of them. That's okay. Here's some other suggestions. Thanks for taking this on. Now he says, here's my roadmap. Here's the plan. Here's what we're doing.
I don't really buy that Kathleen is saying, like, Mandalorian leads into Boba Fett, and then it goes back to Mandalorian, while Ahsoka can sneak into Boba Fett and then maneuver off. Like, I don't
think she did that either.
But but then who did that?
I think there was no one doing that. I think because the issues we've heard for years and years and years were somebody comes into Kathy's office and says, or a high up producer and says, Alden Ehrenreich is really upset with the way they're handling Solo. Kathy, you need to come in and fix it. Kathy comes in and goes, this isn't what we should be doing. This isn't what you're supposed to be doing. She comes in the middle of Boba Fett and goes, you need to have Mandalorian in here because Mandalorian sells us stuff. We need to have Mandalorian. No, you need to put him in there. I think it was more of showing up at the beginning of projects or in the middle of projects and just saying, why aren't you doing it this way? And forcing them to switch. And I think that's part of the problem Disney's having is they want a roadmap. I don't think they ever had one. I mean, it was clear with the movies. She just fired and brought on whoever was selling tickets, her and Bob. And they were like, oh, everybody didn't like episode 7 or episode 8. Well, we have to bring back the guy because everybody loved episode 7, which was not also true at the time. There were a lot of people who didn't love episode 7 who still don't love episode 7.
It feels the same as 4.
I mean, it does follow same story beats.
I remember that being the biggest complaint.
It was the biggest complaint, and
but and then episode 8 came around. No, too different.
I know it's too similar to everything we get. Why don't you do anything different? You did something different.
All right, here's something different. No, not like that.
I know. Which is why
some
Dave
opinions out there are
make
valid.
Everybody mad
For the record,
yeah, some opinions are.
It's fun to make fun of it, though.
It is because some people are just ridiculous like that. But
yeah,
anyway,
totally.
I think when we buckle this down, they're saying, Dave, we want you to come in and really take control of where all these movies are headed. And they have not announced anything's canceled. Daisy Ridley was just in an interview talking about how her Star Wars movie was so different from what she expected that it made her cry in like a good way. And she was like, this is so interesting. And
oh, phew.
like like I'm excited to get to take the character in this direction that she didn't
Mm-hmm.
get to do. And there's rumors that Dave's gonna continue with his movie as Chief Control. You know, even in his new role, he's gonna continue with his movie. I'm trying to think what the other movies were. They announced like 3 big movies. Taika has been in the news everywhere promoting his movie now, and he's like, next goal wins, and he's been like, I saw the other day because he did that. We talked about it last week, didn't we? Him gonna
Mm-hmm.
make Star Wars fans mad. And then I saw an interview this week with him, and he said, well, I'm taking my time with it because I really want to get back to the idea of the original trilogy. And it's just funny. Either somebody at Marvel said, what are you
Someone
doing?
got a phone call.
Stop making this mad. Or he just is trolling, and he knows, because Taika is the type of guy to be like, in one interview, I'm going to say this to make everybody mad, and then the next I'm going to backpedal and I'm going to laugh, you know. But
True.
Ryan Johnson still has a trilogy.
He doesn't.
Has not been shelved. It's not been shelved. He even is like, hey, until I see it's been shelved, then I believe.
All right, fair enough. We go by those rules a lot.
And hey, even him, Knives Out too. He's like, I'm gonna make a couple more Knives Out movies, then maybe I'll get to Star Wars. And maybe Dave reads his scripts and goes, this is the greatest thing I've ever freaking read, my guy. Get on it. Anyway, I think this is great. This shouldn't be, this is positive news for Star Wars, and Star Wars needs to take a good long break like Marvel. It seems like Star Wars is. There's nothing Star Wars on the slate right now that I can even think of. I know Andor 2 is filming, and I know they're filming Mandalorian season 3 and other stuff. But anyway, let's move on.
All right, I want to bring up what's going on with Nia DaCosta, because recently, after the release of the Marvels, THR had a report saying that Nia DaCosta did not show up for one of their special screenings. It might have been like a cast screening or something like that. But she had representatives within that same report mentioned that she never knew about it. She was celebrating her birthday that same day, but she invited some people, and those people mentioned to her that the screening was happening, and she had no idea. So between this and that Variety article saying that she left, and she left post-production of the Marvels for another movie, and made it seem like it was this like tension-related issue, when in actuality that's just how the industry works. And along with this report, I'm getting really pissed off by, these outlets trying to drag her name in the mud. And it makes me feel like Disney and Marvel have a part in it, which, isn't the craziest of takes, I know, but even still, like, it all just seems to line up to me, and it's just very frustrating that this would happen to her, because within this industry, it's already hard, not just as a woman, but a woman of color, to be able to have great careers that stand for long periods of time in the industry. And, I don't know how much stock the rest of the industry will take into these reports, but it can be hurtful. So I really hope Nia DaCosta comes out on top when it comes to this, because this is very unfair to her, and it's shameful for everyone involved to be trying to do this to her, when, look, Disney, Marvel, they did this to themselves. They had a movie that did not become successful because they hurt their brand themselves by doing the wrong moves, as we know now. So this just sucks, and I really hope the best for her after this, because she does not deserve this, because the movie was good. The movie was good, and
is good.
I'm sure she did the best she could, but like she said in one of her interviews, this is the Kevin Feige machine. She knows that this is his movie. She's just there to try and make it the best she can. And yeah, as this comes to the result when you work in something like that, and we should not place the blame on her necessarily, but to have her name be drugged like this is just harmful, and I feel bad for her.
Yeah, I do too. This is always, there's so much to unpack here, because do we actually know, like, do we actually know at the end of the day? No, none of us were there. A lot of this is hearsay. But I've seen interviews with her, and she talks highly of Marvel. Even in that interview where she talks about how it's Kevin Feige's machine, she's not talking ill will at all. She doesn't sound negative. She doesn't sound anything. She's just promoting her movie and answering questions the right way. She's acting like an adult. So it makes you feel, okay, this is Marvel and this is Disney, and these are outlets coming out saying this. And it's gross and disgusting. Now, who knows? there could be any other, maybe she was terrible on set. Maybe she was actually just an awful director to work with, and we don't know that. It doesn't seem like that's the case, and I don't believe that. But this is, I'm bringing that point up because I want people to remember that we all are not there. So let's not go crazy. And sorry, I heard a loud noise. Let's not go just crazy one-sided. I do think you have to look at it from all sides, and even when you do, it still looks bad for Marvel and Disney, as it should. And I do feel bad for her. If all of this is true, then they really have done her poor. And the Marvel's doing poor is not on her. She made a good movie. It's a fun movie. A lot of reasons went into play for this movie not doing good. I think the strike is part of it. It's not everything, but I think the strike is part of the reason it didn't do well. Other movies did very well in the strike. I've seen a lot of people compare it to FNAF, and I think that's a little unfair because FNAF has a fan base that is just huge. And I think that movie could have come out in the pandemic and it still would have probably done well because that fan base is just wild. But I think there's a lot of people who just are tired of Marvel. I think that is the lackluster products they're putting out has been a big reason why. I mean, I just saw Napoleon and Napoleon was packed. My theater was packed. And so people want to go to the movies, but they want to see things that are not, Marvel's last 5 things have not been the best outside of maybe Guardians 3. So there's a lot into play. I do hope that this does not hurt her career and she goes on to continue making incredible stuff. I mean, she is the highest, I'm trying to figure out how to word this the right way. The Marvels has grossed the highest amount of money for a Black woman in history. That's an amazing feat, but it should have been more because the movie's actually really good and it's really fun. And it looks better than some of the other Marvel movies we've gotten. It doesn't look great every time, but it does look better than most things we've gotten. So I feel bad. They need to stop doing this. I'm also just like, who knows? Maybe she really didn't know that the screening was going on. It would be really weird if the director of your movie didn't know when the when a screening for your film was, especially if it's your first one or a big one. That's a little weird. Maybe she was told, maybe she forgot. Maybe she was truly not told. I don't know, but still, we need to stop trying to drag her name through the mud because she's awesome. And it's clearly not working. If Disney is doing this stuff to try to leak things to make it sound like she doesn't pay attention, and then other people are coming out and being like, no, this is what actually happened. It's like, it's not working, Disney. So why don't you just move off of it and just stop talking about it?
People can register bullcrap like this pretty much. I think not everyone obviously, but I think there is a generation coming up that is able to spot propaganda such as this. You know what I mean? I think people can spot it a lot better than we used to at one point. And this is kind of a good example of that. For me, it's just kind of a reminder that yes, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, these outlets are reliable because they have reliable sources within these studios.
They work hard to have a respectable brand, yeah.
But let's also remember they could also be their mouthpieces too. I mean, how many articles came out where the studios were trying to flip the perspective of the writers and actors strike, where they were trying to make them the bad guys and the studios were the good guys the whole time. So just remember, yes, these are reliable sources, but they can also be their mouthpieces at the same time, at least in my opinion. So just be careful when it comes to
that. Speaking of Disney, you want to just move off to the bike riders?
Yeah. So what was it before, or it was still Thanksgiving weekend when this was happening,
just a couple days ago.
A couple of days ago. So earlier this year, sorry, I'm just trying to get my roadmap correctly. The Bike Riders was removed from its theatrical release under Disney, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And then at the course of this Thanksgiving weekend, it was reported that New Regency, who produces the movie, is shopping around the film to other possible distributors because I guess Disney decided they didn't want to release the film anymore. But luckily, a few days later, it was announced that Focus Features has acquired the worldwide rights to the movie, meaning that it seems like it'll be set up for a theatrical release, but it probably will happen next year, probably because it could be an awards contender, and it would just be a little too soon to try and release like a movie of this scale, of this budget, so quickly to, be in the conversation for this award season. At least that's my guess. That's not within like the reports I'm seeing, but luckily this movie, which, we saw the trailers a few months ago, it looks really good. I think
My brother's
have,
already seen it, and
yeah,
it's one of his favorites of the year. He loved it. It's supposed to be Austin Butler really shining. Tom Hardy's really good. It's not a big budget movie. It's 40 million.
But still, it has the recognizable actors. It's
Norman Reedus is in it. Jodie Comer started to really pop, and then obviously Austin Butler, Michael Shannon's in it, Tom Hardy. I don't know why Disney is moving off of it, because originally it was Disney just was like, we're not going to release this movie this year, was the first announcement. We're just not releasing it. And it did well at festivals. It's got an 85 on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Like, it clearly has been seen by people. I think it played at our festival here. I just didn't get a chance to see it. I only got to see one movie. But I think the biggest thing is then a bunch of backlash happened. People were like, what the heck are you doing? And then New Regency was like, you need to let us shop this movie around. If you're not going to put it out, we need to be able to put it out. What was its original release date? Wasn't it just like this weekend or next weekend? It says initial release was August 31st is what this says. So that must have been when it started playing at festivals.
Yeah, maybe.
Started making
I do remember December 1st, or like the beginning of December was supposed to be like its release at one point. That might have been the last time, maybe.
Yeah. So if it's not eligible then for this year's Oscars, then they would make it a contender probably next year, you'd hope. Or maybe they don't think it was a contender. I don't know why Disney would have pulled it. What comes out this weekend that's such a crazy competitor? There is a lot of stuff coming out right now, but like what's coming out?
Well, around that time, there's the Beyonce movie, and the Godzilla movie is going to get a sizable release.
Was the big thing. Beyonce.
I don't know if that's the reason. Like, it'd be one thing if they moved off of it for a different weekend, but they just let this production company find a new distributor completely. That's not because of Beyonce, like a Beyonce concert movie.
That might be why maybe Disney pulled it, though, originally. Maybe they thought this weekend was prime just for them. Beyonce, because Beyonce only moved it like a month and a half ago, announced all this. After Taylor dominated, and Taylor's dominated. And maybe people are hyped on going to the concert, and they think they can pull the same stuff. And maybe the studios, who tend to be reactionary, Disney maybe sat back and was like, oh, I don't want to get steamrolled by another concert movie. Let's move off of this release date. And I don't know.
My theory is that I don't think New Regency has trust in Disney to release this well, because I feel like this is a 20th Century Fox movie that got inherited by Disney, and I think we've seen over the past years that Disney doesn't know how to market movies for adults anymore, which is shocking because they've been able to do it before under different banners, but I really do think that they have a hard time knowing how to market these, and it almost feels like they don't want to at the same time. Like, they don't want these movies to be like under the Disney umbrella.
They've spent the last 10 years with Marvel making them the most money of anybody. So Marvel and Star Wars, and they've just forgotten how to pander to other audiences.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I really think that's a big reason. Because since they got acquired, like, you can look back at the movies that they've released in theaters, and some have done okay, but they probably haven't done as well those production companies would hope or would think their potential could be. So I could see it being, behind the scenes conversations where they're like, look, we don't think you guys are going to release this. Like, please let us find a different distributor and be done with this thing.
Well, I think they pulled it first, didn't they? They pulled the movie first, and then Regency went to them and said, you can't do this.
Yeah, they were probably pissed about that too.
Yeah.
Me speculating all of this, but that's just my theory, and I don't think it's that crazy of a take, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at all their movies that came out this year, and most of the ones that are not huge budget or straight to like a streaming
Yeah,
platform.
the
Um,
mid-budget adult
in the Boogeyman, I guess
releases.
horror, but yeah, interesting. Yeah, almost everything is very not all of them I would say are kid, but they are just
Mm-hmm.
franchise. And if
Mm-hmm.
they're not franchise, they're like really low budget comedies or something like that. No One Will Save You, I guess they did. That movie is amazing. I
Yeah,
wish I
but
would have
that's a
seen that in
streaming
the
release. Who
theater. Yeah, I
cares?
know it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Well, I mean, it's still an amazing movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for this conversation, like
Oh,
that doesn't quite.
they have Next Goal Wins. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. I didn't know they
but
were
look at that movie. Like that should be a feel good family movie that lots of people go
Poor
see. Like that should
Things.
have more eyes on it than it does currently. And look, I know Rotten Tomatoes, it's a negative, whatever. Like it's a feel good sports movie. We don't have those in a while. That should easily be a good option for
Have you
people to go
seen
out
it?
to. And no, but I'm just saying, like it would seem like they should do better with their marketing in to promote that, so that way more people did go out and see it.
Oh,
Like, there's not
maybe
many
they
of those
just know
movies
people don't
anymore.
want to
Like,
see
that should be
Taika.
one where audiences are excited to go see it. But it doesn't seem like they did very much to do it.
Yeah, they do need to be better at promoting their stuff. I don't know if Next Goal Wins is really a huge thing. I think they just think people are sour on Taika. Um, but and to be honest, Rotten Tomatoes, you brought that up, and I think it's an interesting point because Rotten Tomatoes, yes, it shouldn't be an indicator. We both agree to that. But
Mm,
for common movie fans, I think it's a huge indicator on if they go to a movie. Because
unfortunately.
I hear people say that all the time. It's like, oh, it had an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're very, very casual film fans.
Mm, you're
And
right.
they see 5 movies a year, and it does play a role. I don't think it's a huge role, but it plays a role. It doesn't for some movies, obviously, like Five Nights at Freddy's, dominating. It has like a 20 on Rotten Tomatoes, but they have a really insane built in fan base and a meme culture around them. So they have a different
Mm-hmm.
scenario. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. The Bike Riders, I still don't know why they can't just release it December 1st, whichever studio picked up the rights. Sure, maybe their actors are busy and they can't promote it, but it's like, I don't know. If this movie
That
is really supposed to be an Oscar contender, why are you waiting till next fall? Put it
I
out.
mean, that it could set themselves up to being like an early front runner, I guess, but also like that's a lot of quickness that needs to be done in order to, get a lot of theaters that would want to play it so quickly all of a sudden. Like it would take a lot of manpower to get marketing done in time for like the 2 weeks leading up to its release if it was like
Yeah, it
December
might just
1st or 8th or
cost
whatever.
more to buy
Yeah.
the rights to it, and a
And
lot of
just
other
the
movies are
rushing
coming
that
out
would
in
be done.
December. Yeah,
I mean, I want to see this movie because
I do
again, we've
too.
heard that it's really good, but if you have to wait, that's fine. At least it's getting a theatrical release. That's especially what I care about. I want to see this movie on a big screen.
Me too. And
So at least it got saved by Focus, who does know how to do adult
yeah, they know how to market.
films. Yeah, they know they know their demographics and they know how to do this well. So I trust in them. So it worked out.
And if it's not eligible for this year's Oscars, it can't be on your 2023 Best of the Year list, even if you saw it in 2023. So get it off of there, Annie Essays. Doesn't belong. It doesn't count.
It's the rule. We didn't make
It's
the
a
rule.
rule.
Yeah, you can
It's
look it
a
up.
rule. I had to follow that rule for Marcel the Shell. You got to follow it now. All right. Anything else on the docket for today?
Yeah, you want to talk about the latest Superman casting news?
Oh yeah, Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
Sure.
Nicholas Hoult. Nicholas Hoult is
And they hired
going to be
your
playing
boy.
Lex Luthor. I remember rumors or reports saying that he was in the running for Superman, but I think we also said like Lex Luthor would be a good option for him too. So I'm really happy by this result because I think Nicholas Hoult plays like punchable bad guy very well. I mean, not that Lex Luthor is like the butt of the joke or whatever, but I don't know. I think he does a really good job at playing like bad
How many
people
bad guy
who
roles has Nicholas Hoult done?
I remember The Great. He does a
Outside
good
of
job
or
there.
is the
The
Great? Is that what
Favorite.
it is? That's the only one I
The
could think of.
There's The
Oh, so
Great and The
those are the. What's the
Favorite.
Great?
TV show on Hulu, period piece.
Oh, you've seen that?
Yeah, I saw like the first season, if I remember right. But he immediately like popped
He's
for me.
great
He
in
was really
Renfield.
good.
I guess he was kind of a villain in The Menu.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
he'll be a great, and he's younger. And I think if you're going to go with a little bit younger Superman, I think this is great.
Yeah, I wonder
Uh,
if that means that they're going to be having Lex Luthor and Clark Kent's relationship be more closely personal, like it is in, I don't know, Smallville, or like the Superman Birthright comics do that too, or if it's just because like they want younger actors to keep them for long periods of time. Because I could have seen going either way with like age wise when it comes to
yeah,
Luthor being
they
him
want
and
them
like
to be
his,
around.
yeah. I'm just saying, like, I just wonder if that was the deciding factor. But even still, I'm glad that it was Nicholas Hoult, because he's a good actor and I think he does bad guys well. So I'm here for that.
He's a really good actor. And we've got, I mean, that wasn't all the announcements. I mean, we also are getting Hawk Girl in this, and with Isabella, how do you say her last name?
Merced.
Merced.
Yeah,
And
that was
she
announced
is
a
going to
while
be in
ago.
Madam Web. Yeah, I know, but we never talked about it. I like her.
Oh, I thought we did.
But they also cast your boy. Like, why are you not running with that? Jimmy Olsen
Skyler?
is in this movie.
Yeah,
That's your boy.
casted.
You brought him up 15 times. I didn't even know he existed.
Yeah,
You brought him
Skylar
up 15 times.
Gisondo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I kept trying to find interviews with this guy where they said
Talk
his
about
name and
punchable
they
faces.
stop.
Just kidding.
That was mean.
You don't get to trash Nicholas Hoult for having a punchable face for
Hey, he
2 minutes. And
He
then
plays bad guys well. That's all I'm saying.
He does.
He plays bad guys well where you want to punch them in the face. Skylar seems nice. You stop that.
Jimmy Olsen's the quintessential I want to get punched in the face type
That's
of
not
role.
even-
What are you talking about? You've seen Booksmart.
Jimmy's the best. No, that's true.
Stop. No, I'm just making fun. He's a great actor. I like him a lot. He'll be
Yeah,
a good
I'm
Jimmy
happy.
Olsen.
I'm happy that he's getting a role like this. Like, I think he's going to fit the role of Jimmy very well. And he's just been working for a lot of years. I remember him. I think I first saw him in Vacation, and he's been working more stuff since. Obviously, Booksmart being one of them. I've heard he's great in Righteous Gemstones, which is a show that I do need to check out.
Was he the lead in Licorice Pizza? No, but he was
one of them.
Licorice Pizza.
But he does have a role in that too, which is also a movie I need to check out. But I'm happy for him. Like he seems like a good guy, and I'm glad that he got a good role such as this. So more people can know of his work. That's awesome.
I'm just really hyped that Rachel Brosnahan is going to be in such a big budget movie after this, and her career is ready to just take off. She's so funny. I hope, like, I think James Gunn's humor can get much. Obviously, I think when he lets the humor take over the movie, it's just isn't as funny as when he lets the humor elevate the movie. If he writes just great stuff and he makes Lois really sarcastic and funny, Rachel Brosnahan can run away as the steal of this movie. Like, we're gonna walk out of the theater going, man, who is this chick? Is what everybody's gonna be saying. And Kyle and I are gonna sit there and be like, oh, you clearly have not seen Marvelous Miss Maisel, which is just incredible. Such a funny show. Kyle still hasn't even finished it. What is this guy doing?
Yeah, that's true.
Ridiculous. Anyway, do we got anything else on the docket? We got time maybe for quick one more thing.
Michael Mann is confirming that Heat 2 is his next project, and he is indicating that Adam Driver is in talks for the role that Robert De Niro had in the first Heat movie.
Neil McCauley, yep.
Yeah, which is a prequel. Heat 2 seems to be a prequel to the first Heat, I would imagine.
I don't know.
Or is it... I'm trying to remember. I remember Heat 2, the book coming out, and that being a big deal, and I thought I read that it was a prequel, but I'm not sure now.
He says, I plan to shoot that next. Man laughed off. Reteaming with Nero. Let me put it this way. Adam and I got along like house on fire. We have the same work ethic, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's either that. I mean, it can still be a sequel. It doesn't have to be a prequel. You can do a sequel to a movie and cast just younger people to take over that spot. I'm not seeing anything specific that's saying if it's a prequel or not. I watched Heat for the first time this year, and so did Kyle. Kyle, very
Terrific.
more recently. I like Heat. It's a really good movie. I don't really want a Heat 2, to be honest. I like Michael Mann. I think he can make some good stuff. Ferrari looks really good. I love Adam Driver's response to a stupid question from a fan.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. But which, by the way, if you get the opportunity,
you get the chance to ask him a question, yeah.
like, be cool about it.
Yeah.
Don't try to be like above it all, or try to say something, I don't know, sarcastic or whatever. Like, just don't try so hard. Just be decent. Even if you don't like the movie, just ask him something. Ask him anything else. Like, don't be above all this. Just be
what
cool.
Do you, think
get a
about
chance to do something like this.
The person asked, "What do you think about the car crash scenes looking fake?" And he was like, "What? Did you watch the movie? Like, that's a troll question. Like, in the trailer, like, have you ever seen a real life like that speed car crash? They might look fake in real life. That's how insanely crazy it is, because you're not used to seeing a car flip around. And if the CGI, how do they know they didn't see a cut of the movie that is not finished at that time? Like, it probably was finished, but it's ridiculous. I'm going to watch Ford v Ferrari as a weird little, like, get ready for Ferrari, just because, Michael Mann produced that. There you go. But, like, I just want to, and it just gets you in the mood, Just like when I saw Napoleon, you had to come home and watch Hamilton. Just needed to watch,
naturally,
things from that time frame, the 1800s, even though Napoleon was born at the end of the American Revolution. So they overlap a little. No, they do. They do.
Yeah, no, I just remembering the timeline, and okay.
I know you sit back and you think to yourself, Napoleon was like 1400s. You sit back and you go, oh wait, no. He literally gave us the part of the country you're living in right now, my guy. We bought it from him.
Humans have not lived around for very long.
No, we have not. It is wild. Like,
yeah,
like Napoleon is in between us becoming a country and the Civil War.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's wild.
But he was a caveman.
I have a rant about that movie too. I got a rant for stupid comments, but I'll bring it up in our review. So tease that.
All right, there you go.
Stupid
I don't know what that means, but I'm excited. All right.
And I wonder if you're going to complain about this stupid thing I'm going to rant on. I wonder if you're going to get out of the movie and complain about it. So I'm ready.
Okay. I need to see this movie now.
Yeah, go.
Even more than I really wanted
I don't know what you're still sitting here doing. Why is Alex so busy? He's waiting for another Alex who's just letting the name down. Why is he so busy? Tell me right now.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. He had a flight. He had a flight to catch. I don't know what to tell you.
Where was he headed?
He went to California. Why does this matter? No one cares about this.
He probably came back and he's like, I caught Napoleon on the plane. I was like, you son of a gun.
It's on streaming already.
Anyway, your thoughts on Heat 2?
Oh yeah, I didn't mention anything. Not what I'm needing, but at least Adam Driver's really good, and Michael Mann still seems like he's got it. So I'll give it a shot, I guess. But I really like the first Heat. Awesome movie. Would highly recommend watching.
It is a banger. It's slow in a good way. But it is.
Let's just take our time.
And let me tell you, boys, something here. The original Heat is 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's almost 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. So is Endgame. You can handle it. But anyway, all right,
I like
guys.
to think so.
What'd you think of today's episode? We will get movie reviews out. I promise. When Kyle sees Napoleon, it sounds like on Tuesday.
It's my bad on me.
A lot of big movies are coming up. I am going to go try to see Godzilla -1. I've heard it's just a banger, and I really want to see it. Boy and the Heron is coming out soon. We just watched a Studio Ghibli movie for our movie club, and I am hyped for Boy and the Heron. They're playing it in IMAX here. We're going to try and go see it on the 70mm IMAX, where we saw Oppenheimer. I'm hyped to see it.
I don't think Montanans know what anime is, so probably not.
Oh, they do. I worked there with high school kids. They know. Right. And they have the worst takes on anime you've ever seen.
But yeah, right? So we may not get it.
All right, guys, what do you think of the show. Comment below, let us know. Help us get 2,000. We're going to give a hoodie like this away to a commenter. Go check out the merch. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thank you, Movie Meal patrons, and thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.
What a good